welcome to Stockholm.
Thank you, I love Stockholm.
Yeah, you do, because...
I do.
Yeah. Food would it be, and why? And don't talk about bananas and pizzas now, because we had a whole lot of, if you saw the panel before here.
Okay.
It's kind of a drama, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Well, it's so funny, there's a children's book about a father and a son. The father owns a pizzeria, and his son's like, I want to make a pizza with everything on it. And they do, and by everything he means like, no, everything. So like, machines and buildings and like a super collider and all that sort of stuff goes into it. And then it literally like collapses in on itself into a black hole. And they go into a new universe. They're thrust back home, but their universe is now made of pizza. So like they live in a pizza universe. So that was going to be my answer. But the thing, I mean, I do love pizza. God, I love pizza.
Do you have pineapple on the pizza though?
Yes, sure. I know there's a because it's that sweet and savory mix. It's lovely. The saltiness of like a little bit of ham and the cheese with the sweetness of the pineapple is fantastic.
Haven't you lived in like Sicily?
Have I lived in Sicily? I've never been to Sicily. In Italy?
Maybe not.
No, I've visited
like an internet.
I've never lived there. So yeah, I don't know, a world made of pizza would, I mean, a world made of any food would be pretty impractical. I mean, it would be very squishy.
The smell?
Yeah, it's not ideal. I'd rather just eat it.
The thing is, it didn't stop there, because I was like,
you're like,
no, please.
You can feel weird.
Yeah, I was like, please, even more weird. And I don't know, this is kind of, so I have no faith in ChatGPT after this, because this was the third and final question then. Which, it's not that weird, but if you could swap lives with a fictional character for a day, who would it be? And what wacky adventures would you bring embark on in their world?
Right, so that's the weird part.
I don't know. So I could have wrote the wacky adventures more weird questions.
Fictional character for a day. I mean, man, there's so many ways to go with that, right? James Bond? Right?
Yeah.
That would be pretty incredible.
And then you enlist as a Russian spy.
What's that?
And then you like try to be like a double agent for the Russians as James Bond.
As James Bond. I don't know.
That's pretty weird. Yeah.
That is pretty weird.
It's a wacky adventure.
Yeah, it's a wacky adventure. I don't know. And then, I mean, insert wacky adventure as James Bond. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. My imagination is. It's been cut off by jet lag.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot weirder in a moment, I think.
Okay.
But I guess there's a lot of questions, so I'm gonna stop talking now.
Okay, great.
We're gonna open up the floor.
All right.
And see where we end up.
Yeah,
So one civilized line, please.
Come on now.
My only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Loved it. Immediately got a copy of The Lord of the Rings and had it on my shelf for, well, decades. And it was this thing that I always wanted to get around to reading and I never did. Sort of similarly, reading Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, for instance, and never reading the rest of the Chronicles of Narnia. And I've heard I'm not missing too much. It depends on who you talk to. But anyway, the Lord of the Rings was something I was wanting to get to. Cut to, they start casting for the film. Put myself on tape for it, read the script, got the role, and then immediately it's like, okay, now I've got to start ingesting these books. And I got so sort of overwhelmed by, because I started reading them when I was in New Zealand, which was just the wrong time. Like I should have read them as soon as I was cast on my own, but because we were so focused, our world was about the making of it and developing the character and the scripts. There was so much work to be done, but I didn't have enough time, frankly. And it felt almost like taking myself out of the process of the film, if that makes any sense. So I still haven't read them. It's embarrassing, and I will read them. I did own multiple copies. So I can't actually answer your question. Although I will say, Tom Bombadil would have been amazing to see. And I love the 1990s TV series. It was made in Japan. It's so good, man. It's so good. I love it so much. But is it Toffel? The character, there's a book where it's not really about Moomin, it's about this character who doesn't have any friends. And like, who will Toffel be friends with? He leaves his home and he goes on this journey of like, he keeps missing that everyone he says hello to actually does want to engage with him, and he doesn't, and he ends up being this really sweet love story about this other girl who also doesn't have any friends, and they sort of meet each other and write letters to each other. I really love that story, and I love that character. And then what's remind me the character that they're all so deathly afraid of that makes everything turn to ice? So the Grog, right? It doesn't. If you look at the Grog, he doesn't look mean. It looks like this sad sort of creature that just like leaves ice behind. But I don't find it terrifying. I actually feel really sad for him. But I love that world. I love the art there. I love the characters. Little Mai's a little bitch, though, isn't she? Little Mai is such a fun, kind character. They're all so sweet, and she is so awful.
You gotta have that.
I suppose you're right.
Thank you so much.
The youngest people there. So we spent a lot of our free time together. So yeah, we would, we all learned how to surf together, took trips together. Yeah. I know it's so funny because I'm only really aware of that by people sort of referencing to me like, oh, I hadn't thought about the fact that it doesn't really say anything to me. Or that we don't have any scenes together. We were around each other obviously in scenes. But it's not something that I was aware of at the time, funnily enough, because we spent a lot more time together.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tack så mycket allihopa. Det var en liten paus där, sen kommer Steve och Mel.